Hello and thanks for joining School of the American Rifle. Today is our final update on our second fire damage gun. As you can see, we have it here on the bench. We're consistently using this in classes as a demonstration of what this gun is capable of. We had a lot of negative comments in the videos that we made about this fire damage gun and the previous one. People saying that it can't be safely fired, it's going to blow up, the heat treat's messed up. But you can make a lot of sound judgment calls based on the damage of a gun, what it's made of, and what you have left before you decide whether or not it can be fixed. All those things being said, we decided that this wasn't going to be a good gun to send back to the original owner. His name's Daniel. So we got with some of our people in our own social community, some of the manufacturers who made some of the original parts, and we have a whole new gun to send to Daniel. So let me pull this out of the way. And here we go. So let me give you sort of a rundown of what we have here. The original FN lower that was on the fire damage gun, right here. I reached out to FN. I didn't hear anything back from them. So it was either going to be something we had to scrape up some money to replace, or reach out, and I did. My friend Mike Mihalski from Sons of Liberty Gun Works donated an entire Sons of Liberty Gun Works M4 low receiver. Now there are a couple things changed out on this. It didn't have this Geissele bolt catch. My friend Dave donated this. The Geissele trigger was replaced in this. It had one of the Sons of Liberty NP3 fire control groups. So Geissele, one of the employees there that works with Geissele, Jason, he reached out to me and said, Chad, we're going to replace that. So we have a new Geissele SSA-E in here. So Sons of Liberty really came forward, and this is no just run-of-the-mill lower. This has their nice selector. It has B5 furniture on it. It has a Viltor A5H2 buffer with a Springco green spring. I mean, this is all premium stuff. Forward controls, castle nut staked in multiple spots. I did throw in a forward controls button that I had on hand that wasn't on it. So I replaced that, put that in there just because I had an extra one. And he likes the Geissele bolt catch. So, like I said, donated. As far as the upper receiver goes, let me grab my list so I don't forget anybody. The charging handle, we reached out to Radian. They did replace that. The barrel, the gas block, and the rail were donated by Daniel Defense, which is what the original upper was. They did not send a bolt carrier group or a rail. I think the whole project just sort of fell through the cracks. The whole thing took about 8 months to get everything together, get everything lined up. So it's been a long project. The pin and weld job was donated by David Wilson of D. Wilson Manufacturing. I have the capability to pin and weld, but David does a really nice job of pinning and welding, so he stepped up and decided to donate to this wonderful cause. Let's see, what else? The transfer was done by the local FFL that Daniel uses. I'm going to put a link in the description to that place. That's Buck's Pawn out of Tennessee. But I'll put a link in the description, all the parts and such. What else do we have? The bolt carrier group is a SIONICS MP3 that was donated by Rob D. The Sons of Liberty Gunworks upper was donated by Terry S. The Knights Armament front sight was donated and purchased brand new by Dave M. The Knights Armament rear sight, which is sort of a surplus USMC rear sight, was donated by Austin M. The dust cover and forward assist was donated by Brian S. And the Sons of Liberty Gunworks NOX muzzle device was donated by Daniel W. We had a lot of other people in the SOTAR community that came forward and made some donations that helped pay for some of the smaller stuff like shipping the upper off to D. Wilson. That'll pay for the shipping to send it off so he can get this new lower transferred into his name. The transfer is going to be free, but the shipping and insurance will cost some money. I replaced all the pins with spiral pins in the gun, sort of an upgrade, if you will. We needed a gas tube, and what else did we need? I'm sort of reading off a list, so I'm sorry about going slow. I did rebuild the upper receiver, so it's all blueprinted. We have the feed ramps all shined up like we teach in our classes. Let me find the light. I might not be able to grab this on camera, but I'll try. Shiny enough to shave in. Upper receiver's been squared off. Everything's been gauged and checked out and blueprinted. Here's our bolt carrier group. But it's a gun I'd be proud to own, and like I said, all the people in the School of the American Rifle community and those that we have good relationship with stepped up and donated to give Daniel a fine AR-15 to get back up and running. I was aware of this because one of the people in the community shared a link from T-Rex Arms. They were the first ones that were alerted to it. So T-Rex Arms stepped up and replaced the original ACOG that had burned up. And there were some other people in the community that stepped up to donate other things like flashlights that had burned up in it. But essentially everything has been made whole for this young man. He lost just about everything, and insurance didn't cover it all. So we're just happy to be part of being able to give back in some small way. I was the small cog in this wheel. It was a lot of the loving and generous people in the gun community that really made all this happen. So I'm glad that I was able to add some entertainment out of the fire damage gun and donated this so it can be used for educational purposes just like our other fire damage gun. But this is going to go back out to him tomorrow, the lower to his FFL and the upper straight to him. And he's going to have a pretty fine piece of hardware. We got some more videos coming. As always, I appreciate you watching.